Let's take a look at what Gary Vaynerchuk says about imposter syndrome. And he says, we need to talk about imposter syndrome. Well, we do. Here we go.
Like, I think we need to kill imposter syndrome as a word because it's putting makeup on something we should get to the root of.
Do we have to kill imposter syndrome as a word? Well, we'll see. Because it's putting makeup on something we need to get the root of. Absolutely, I agree. We do need to get to the root of what is imposter syndrome, what we can do about it.
Is a pretty word for insecurity.
Okay, so imposter syndrome is the secret feeling of being a fraud when you're not a fraud. Feeling like you don't belong when you do. Feeling like you're not good enough when you are good enough. Is it insecurity? We can call it insecurities. Good enough word. All right, let's go on.
How do I deal with insecurity? The same way everyone does. I either push it way down and it becomes a cancer, or I get more vulnerable and over-communicate about it.
Now, here I do agree that the way most people deal with imposter syndrome is to push it way down and it doesn't go away. Like Gary Vee says, it becomes a cancer, or become vulnerable about it and over-communicate it. Well, it's not the talking about imposter syndrome that resolves it. So it doesn't necessarily help, and it certainly doesn't get rid of imposter syndrome. So yeah, Gary, I'm with you on those 2 points.
Or practice making myself uncomfortable to get over it.
So this is what his idea of getting rid of imposter syndrome looks like.
I didn't like flying as a kid. I was scared. I fly more than almost anybody now. I struggled with candor my whole life without even realizing it. Once I realized it, I started to address it, so much so I wrote a whole book about it.
So he struggled with candor his whole life. That candor is speaking up, and that's actually one of the symptoms of imposter syndrome.
So, I think we have to deal with it head on.
Now, trying to deal with it head on, as Gary said, is actually one of the symptoms of imposter syndrome. It's a pushing through behavior. If I can just push my way through it, grit my teeth, soldier on, then maybe it'll just go away. But unfortunately, imposter syndrome doesn't just go away.
Even the concept of imposter syndrome scares me because it makes it a little bit more thoughtful. When imposter syndrome is insecurity. I am insecure that I don't belong and these people are better than me.
His confusion here is mistaking justified insecurity with unjustified insecurity. So justified insecurity is if I'm not doing a good enough job, if I'm not skilled enough, if I don't have enough knowledge. And so if I feel insecure then, if I feel like I don't belong, well, the answer, yeah, it would be to practice. But that's not what imposter syndrome is. Imposter syndrome is unjustified insecurity. You are capable, you are competent, you can do the job, you do have the knowledge, and yet at the same time, you're feeling like you're not quite good enough.
How do you get over that? You practice.
Okay, and here, unfortunately, Gary Vee, this is where you failed, because that's not what imposter syndrome is. It's not about being a beginner. It's not about not having the skills or not having the knowledge. And so practice doesn't help. Imposter syndrome is when you feel like you're not good enough, even though you are. You're capable, you're competent, you've had enough practice, and yet you still doubt yourself. And this is why imposter syndrome is so confusing, because on the one hand, you know that you're capable and competent. On the other hand, you're just not feeling it. And that is the self-doubt about imposter syndrome. Just pushing yourself to do more doesn't make it go away. And this is why we see imposter syndrome strike 70% of high achievers. They've pushed through, they've got to a level of success where everyone around them says, hey, this has proved you're good enough. And yet they're still not feeling it inside, and they don't know what's wrong, and they blame themselves, and they think maybe there's something wrong with me, and they can't push anymore, and it makes people exhausted, it makes them burn out, it makes them quit their career. So we have fabulous, talented, successful people quitting because of imposter syndrome. So no, Gary, the answer isn't to practice more. And in fact, that's really not helpful, because it's telling people to just push yourself further and one day it'll go away, and it doesn't. I'm Tara Halliday, specialist imposter syndrome coach. If you want to learn more about imposter syndrome, the truth of imposter syndrome, what really causes it and what you can do about it, check out my video here. And if you want to hear more about imposter syndrome, click like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.